Okay, so in today's video, we're going to go over how to solve a 4x4 Rubik's Cube. So, you need to know how to solve a 3x3 to get onto the 4x4. So, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so step one in your solving your Rubik's Cube is to make centers. So if we have centers, what you want to do is you want to make what's called a bar. So by making a bar, you want to join two of these pieces together, two of the center pieces. So let's see, we have one here and here. So if we move that over, that across, then move it up, and that makes a bar. And then we want to pair our bars together like that. Okay, now we're going to make our yellow bar. So we already have a bar here, so we're going to move it up. And so we can't just move it up like this. What we have to do is we have to move it up, and we have to move it across. We have to do U2, and then RW prime, which puts it back down. And then we have here, and we have here. So hold it like this so we don't mess up these sides. We want to move it down twice. We want to push it down, and we want to fix it. So here you can't do this like that, because that would just mess it up. So what you gotta do is you want to align them like this, and you want to push them up like that. Okay, on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is we're gonna solve these other centers. So we have to. It helps if you have a 3x3 here to look at the color scheme. So we know if we have white down, we can do red here, and then we have to do green here. So let's find this red piece. So we have one red piece here and one red piece here. What we want to do is we want to meet it up like this, and then that makes our bar. Then the bar over here, since this is our first center, and we want to hold white and yellow on our left or right, doesn't matter which is which, and we want to move right up. So if we look at that, now if we look, we have yellow on top, red in front, white on bottom, so the next color has to be green. So we have to put our green bar here. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have green here, and we have it here. So to pair it up, we're going to move it across. Then since we want to come down, we're going to do that. And then we have a bar here, and we have a bar here, and remember, we have to do this like how we do the yellow. So we bring it down, and we do U2, and it comes back up. Okay, so you might have something that looks like this. Don't worry, it's really simple to fix. You want to do R, U2, R prime, which will make this. And then from here, what you want to do is you want to match it up so it would make a bar when you solve it. So if we see when we move this up, it will make a bar. We want to move it over once, and then bring it down. Okay, now it's time for the next step. Okay, so the next step is to solve these edges. So let's look. We have a blue and white, and we have blue and white here. So what you want to do is you want to have blue on one side and then blue on this side. So you want to have different colors. You want to have opposite colors on either side. So this is set up perfectly. So what we want to do is we want to push it across like that. Then we want to do R, U, R prime to insert a different one. It has to be unsolved, else we'll completely mess it up. I'll give you an example. So let's say we were solving blue and orange, and when we do it, we put this in. It will split them up, and then you have to redo it. So let's look. We have, let's do a white one here. Okay. So if we have this, what we want to do is we want to push it. So if you have two colors that match, and then the opposite colors on either side, you want to push it across, and you want to do R, U, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R, and then push it back, and it will solve it. And then you want to replace that with an unsolved edge, and now we just keep looking and we keep solving. Okay, so when you get to this next step, what you want to do, so you have two left. And if it looks like this, perfect, just set up. But if it looks like this, where if you moved it over, it would line that up, you want to do that flipping algorithm we showed earlier. That flips it. And now what you want to do is you want to push this across, and you want to do R, U, R prime, F, R prime, F prime, R, and then push it back, and that will solve it. Now you want to solve it just like a 3x3, but you need to stay till the end of the video, because there are certain cases that you can't solve like a 3x3. So let's go. Okay, so now that we've done with that, you might get a case that looks like this, where it's almost completely solvable, but one edge is flipped. It's an algorithm we have to learn to do this. It's called parity. So what you want to do is you want to hold it like this. You want to hold the edge that needs flipped in front, and you want to do, this is what we're going to call it is RW, so R wide. So we want to do RW, U2. Then we want to do X, which means we face the bottom. We want to do RW, U2, RW, U2, RW prime, U2, LW, U2, RW prime, U2, RW, U2, RW prime, U2, RW prime. And then that will flip this. Now let's keep solving. Okay, So you also might get something that looks like this, where it's all solved, but these two need to be swapped. It's a simple thing. So we're going to call this the M move. We're going to call this M. So when I say M prime, that means it goes up, and if I say M, that means it goes down. So we're going to do M2, like that, U2, M2, UW2, like that, M2. And then we adjust the two top layers to solve it, like that. Okay, so you also might get a case like this, where these two need to be swapped. Don't worry, it's the same algorithm as earlier. So what we want to do is we want to do M2, U2, M2, UW2, M2. And then we want to adjust this, and we want to look and see what case we have, and we do the algorithm for it. And then your 4x4 will be solved.